Right, is just making sure mic's working, video's working. Is my latency correct? Because I had this problem, guys. It's stupid, you know. Basically, on OBS, right? If you don't deal with your latency with your audio, your audio's the video or the audio. I think the audio runs faster than the video. So if you just straight up download OBS, start recording. Hang on, I need to adjust this camera. If you just straight up get OBS, start recording, it, you'll be talking like out of those old Chinese films. You know, you're like, "Hello, young warrior." Anyway, guys, what's up, guys? It's your boy back at you with another video. It's late at night right now. It's literally I'm shouting a bit. My bedroom's upstairs, but fuck it. It's quarter past midnight. It's Friday. Basically, I finished like a 2 till 10 shift. And essentially, I've just got back off a run, did some exercise, and now I'm straight at the computer because basically I haven't posted all this week, guys, about development of the game because essentially since probably Thursday, so more than a week, not the Thursday just gone, the Thursday before, so last weekend and all week, I basically hit another knowledge barrier, guys. I don't like to call them bugs because it's not a bug, it's human error. And with the help of persistence and Copilot, thank the Lord for honestly, without Copilot, guys, without Copilot, I wouldn't have fixed the issue because it wasn't like an issue; it was an understanding problem. So I had a bunch of things which I tripped up on, and I honestly I wanted to make this video because, and I forgot the name of this video. I've just remembered it again now, like because I thought of the name of the video earlier, but it's just come back to me, and it's essentially the point I'm making is I thought it was over for me. I thought my career as a game developer was over before it begun. You get me? So I had anxiety, like I was stressed. Like I thought it was done. And I've been there before, guys. Like there's been multiple times in the past where I've hit a wall and I'm like, I'm done. Like I can't go any further. I can't keep doing this with this Unreal Engine. I can't keep losing weekends, 3 days, 4 days, stress, no sleep, up all night, just staring at a problem. I can't keep doing this. So I thought it was done. I thought the game dev journey was over for man. But we broke through. Also, guys, another point that brings me to with this video is to talk about how um, game dev anxiety is real, and I've learnt this the more I've got into this game design stuff. Um, when I first started, like I was totally disconnected from like this thing as a community. You get me? And that's because I wasn't a game designer. I've never been. I wasn't into code. I just called it geeky shit. I'll be honest with you guys. I honestly just thought game design was just geeky shit. And that's not to. I wasn't like the cool dude who just did all the naughty stuff. Like I did do geeky things. Like I've always had a camera in my hand, making YouTube videos, filming music videos, drawing, painting, doing everything other than game design, basically. So I was kind of in that category, but I just I always thought of it like, who's that guy who started Amazon? Fucking Jeff Bezos or Steve Jobs, you know, like, and the guy who started Facebook. These smart ass motherfuckers who have these films made about them. To me, that's the type of people who make games. Game development wasn't my thing. So anyway, the point I'm making is, guys, is the more I get into the community, the more I'm getting this anxiety. Because before I was like, I don't even care what the game looks like, just make a game, do it, boom. But now, I'm like, all week I've been stressed because I hadn't posted an update on like, because I've been stuck and I didn't want people to know like that I was stuck. You know what I mean? And even like sharing on Discord, you can go in Discord and like share your thing, your project, or live stream your project and ask for help. I even had anxiety about doing that because I was like, I know I'm gonna get on there and someone's gonna try and pull my work apart before they've even seen it. And eventually, I did go on there and ask for help. I didn't get the help I was looking for because First of all, I've kind of crossed this barrier now, guys, of I'm not a beginner anymore. Like, not mentally, I'm a beginner, but the work I'm actually doing, although it's not showing a lot, but if you look in the background of my project at this moment in time, it's way beyond beginner. So when I come into these Discord groups, unless I find someone who's actively a game developer, like a real one, like I'm stuck. Anyway, so the other day I went in this group and accidentally let someone who's not well, they weren't bad, they weren't bad, but the first thing they did before they even saw my project, they just saw like a little piece of like my character blueprint, and they're like, "Oh, why is it a mess like this?" I'm like, "Oh, here we go." Who gives a fuck what it looks like? It's blueprint. Like, it's not a mess. First of all, everything's segregated out into functions, and everything is legit. Yeah, me. I've spent years learning how to build up a project from blank, and it works for me. So I hate it when people see my project instantaneously. Like, why have you done it like this? Well, how? Show me how else. Honestly, guys, show me how else I'm supposed to do it. There's no other way to do it. This is how games are built. Base classes, hierarchy systems, structures, variables, functions within blueprints. That's how get. Am I mistaken? Like, is there another way to go about it? So I hate letting people into my project because of that. So anyway, guys, I battled through these bugs, and I'll give you a quick rundown of what they would. Well, essentially, the problem I was having was the same problem as before. Um, I had a lack of understanding of how to acquire a specific instance to a specific item. In my case, weapons. So in Unreal, basically, when you make it's hard to describe to non-game developers, so I'll describe it to game developers. When you make an item like a blueprint for a weapon, an actor, if you want 100 pistols in your game, just on your map, you're not going to make 100 pistol blueprints and then drag and drop each one. Although you could do that, don't do that because your game would be massive, like the file size, and I'm sure there's other implications. I'm not a computer scientist, so I don't actually know which is officially the more efficient way of doing things and why. Although I have a rough idea, but don't do it like that. So essentially, I think the done method is to have an instance of a specific item. So say you want to make a game where you can get pick up and loot 10 pistols. You just have one pistol made, and then when you go and get the pistol in the game, you reference or you let the computer know, the engine know that you've got like another version of the same pistol. I would say copy, but I think an instance and a copy in Unreal terms are actually different. So you're just getting another version of the same one, like a twin. It's hard to describe, but that's basically what I was stuck on. I could only pick up one weapon of each thing because every time I was trying to reference the instance, I couldn't do it. Now the issue began, I couldn't find it out of the arrays I was storing it in. So when I pick up a weapon, it goes into the items held array. When I drop a weapon, it goes to the dropped items array. And I know people are going to comment on this and be like, this is wrong. This is not wrong. This is I had this concept when I started making this game and game development in general, and it is, I can't code. I'm not particularly like, well, to be honest, that's not true, but I can't code. Um, so I was like, what's the simplest method of doing everything? Like the simplest way to get to B. So to get from A to B, how do I do this without being a computer mastermind? Arrays was the answer. So I store everything in arrays, and when I drop it, it goes to a dropped array. Now the problem was when I drop the problem I was having was when I drop an item, I couldn't like recognize it in the dropped array. So I was doing some stuff with the find node trying to find a specific item. Turns out the find node didn't work, and that's where I was stuck for a while. The find node out of an array, for those of you who aren't in the industry, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about right now, but a find node only finds the very first instance of an item. So if you've got 3 pistols in an array and you do some stuff and you like find this index or whatever, it's just gonna find the first one. Like it won't actually find the pistol that you're holding. So there was that. So I got over that hurdle. Then when I got over that hurdle, guys, I hit another hurdle. Like nothing was like everything was messing up, and it's because I was destroying actors. Avoid using destroy actors, guys, unless the thing's dead and gone out of the world. Because essentially destroying an actor, say for example, in my case, I was getting the overlapping actors when overlapping a weapon. And then I think when I was like, yeah, basically I was getting the overlapping actors, setting that to a variable, current weapon or whatever. But then basically to make the pistol disappear off the ground, I was doing this everywhere, all over my project. Just destroying the shit out of actors. Long story short, that was making my references invalid. So if you overlap an actor, set that to a variable, current weapon, whatever, overlapping actor, and then that ends up as the current weapon. At the end of that line of code, when you want the gun off the floor to disappear and spawn in your hands, if you're destroying it, you've now destroyed the root of all those references. It's gone. Like, you can't get the information. So, although you've set it to current weapon, saved it to current weapon, whatever you've done, it don't matter because it's gone. So I was doing this and I was getting the current weapon and I was like, but I've got it, everything's there. Why ain't I got the information? And it's because I was destroying it. So I got over those two hurdles. I was like, right, now I'm home free. I'm good. Also, replace the find node I was earlier talking about, guys, with... So if you're trying to find something in an array, use a for each loop, which took me... This first time I understood it. But it was like I said in the previous video about how to start game dev or something like that, or how to start game design. If you ain't seen that video, I'll pop it up in this video, or I'll put it in the description. Essentially, what I was saying in that is, if you just don't know what you don't know, you get me, until you know it. And then I didn't know like what for each loops was. I knew that people used them, but I didn't have the knowledge to understand what, like, in what scenario can I use it. Anyway, I found the scenario, and the scenario is for each loop of the dropped item array, which one in that dropped item array matches the actor I'm actually overlapping right now. So I've got a gun, I drop it on the floor, I run over to it to pick it back up. If I'm overlapping a gun which is in the dropped array, using the for each loop, because that's how for each loop works. For every... It's easy for me to understand in a way because it's a list. For each one thing in this list, which one is equal to this? Then when I did that, that gave me a reference. And then there was another problem. The copy or get copy thing out of an array gets you a copy. That fucks everything up. And if you try and get a reference node out of an array, it doesn't allow it. It like glitches back to get a copy. But if you get a copy node, right click the little reference, blue reference circle, you can convert it or change it to spit out a reference and not a copy. So you do that. Now I've got the specific item from that array. And then I was setting the information, whatever, trying to get it in my inventory, and I was still picking it up, and it weren't happening. Get me? And then that led me to last night, guys, where I finally fixed the problem, which was, I don't even know exactly what the problem was. Long story short, I had I got rid of them, had data assets in my game to store the data for each weapon. And then in that data asset, it was holding a structure. Basically, the problem I was having was when I was picking up the second instance of a weapon, I was getting the instance, but it was getting the data from the first instance. And the only thing I could link it to was the pistol, was the data assets and the structure within the data assets, because all these data assets I had pistol, shotgun, sub, all was referencing this one item data structure. Now, according to my tests, and I don't know if this is even true, I feel like you should. There is probably a way. I probably just fucked it all up. But you should be able to get like an instance of a structure. So if you've got a structure in a weapon, maybe I'm wrong, maybe you can't, maybe this was the problem. And when you set the information to that instance of an item, you should be able to have that instance of the structure or the data asset or something. But I had the data asset with a structure in it, and it wasn't going past that. So I scrapped it, put the variables, and I only had two variables: how much ammo's in the gun And does the gun have ammo? So a boolean saying has ammo, and the ammo in the gun. There's a couple other things like the shot location, but these are just, there's maybe 4 or 5 variables per weapon at the moment, and everything else is. I had other stuff in the structure, like things that I'd got off other people who make games, like the icon, all these. You don't need a lot of that data. You add it when you need it. So I just deleted the structure and the data assets because I was like, I got data assets in the beginning because I was trying to use data tables in the beginning. But as I've got better at game design, I'm like, I don't need none of it. I don't need none of it. I've got like a list in my game instance which stores the inventory. The actual pistol and weapon blueprints just hold a few variables of their own, and now when I get that specific reference to the item and then I cast to the specific item, so I get the current weapon, cast to the pistol, now I'm getting, now finally, and now I can get the instance. So basically I can get a gun, shoot 5 bullets, drop it, pick up another gun, shoot 5 bullets or 6 bullets, drop it. They've both got different ammos, same weapons. Mad, guys. Like, I've been working all week to get to this point, and I got there. And I got there with the help of a million questions off Copilot. Damn near breaking out into tears. No, I was lying about the tears part, but guys, Jesus Lord have mercy on my soul. It was something else. Probably one of the hardest push throughs I've had. I've had some pretty hard push throughs. The early days was real painful, guys. Like that first, just the early days was bad. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. Honestly, a lot of the learning curve just sucks the fun out of doing this, but it's not enjoyable till you can make something. So now, I feel like I'll enjoy it a bit more because I've enjoyed up until this point, like this week in this game development journey, since starting the project again. This is the first real hurdle I've had, one that almost had me thinking I'm not good enough to do this. But I'm like, if I can figure this out, maybe I'm good enough to do this, because I had to really, these last 2 weeks, guys, honestly, I've had to study like I'm actually in school. I've had to study for real, and it's been crazy. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to stop talking now because I've ranted on for a lot of this video. There will be a short, like, it's not a devlog. They're not devlogs I'm doing. I'm doing, like, development updates at the minute. I will do devlogs, but like, I've got to edit something into a devlog. Even when I do a devlog, it's essentially just going to be a development update, but slightly in a slightly different format. So basically, guys, that's it for today's video. I just wanted to talk about the struggle of this, having anxiety to share your projects. You get me? But to be honest, after getting over that hurdle, it's a little bit like, I don't feel so much anxiety today, right now, because I feel like, yeah, well, if I can do that, I can do anything. But I'm sure, I'm sure when I get the next issue, I'm gonna get that anxiety back. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go now because I'm about to listen to some music and hit it hard with game design. Also, when I do bring out the development, there has been changes in the game. Yeah, me, I've got UI now, guys, which got put on hold until the weapon thing was sorted. But now the weapon thing's sorted, it's opened up. I'm thinking about it, it's opened up a world, you know, because now I've got like the inventory is there, but it all needs to be visual on the screen. That's the bit that I'm inexperienced at, but I've kind of got the UI half done, so there's that. So anyway, guys, I appreciate everyone who's rolled through. I appreciate all the subscribers, because I've had a few subscribers, even though this week I haven't posted, but thank you all. Subscribe to the channel, check out my Twitter, check out my Patreon, check out my, actually I was going to say, check me out on another social media website, but that's more professional and it has my government name on there, and I need to erase that. Yeah. But it has my government name on there because I'm looking for a job in the industry as well, guys. So, not like my government name is hidden. It's just, out of a whole, I've been doing on and off YouTube videos on multiple different channels since I was probably 18, and no one knows my government name, so I'm not going to break it now. So, other than that, I appreciate y'all. See you guys in the next one. Yeah, man, hopefully this video wasn't too long.